Oh, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for your patience. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to join me for yet another night of silly gaming. And for that, I thank them tremendously. They are, in no particular order. Let's start with Bison. Bison Stonefist, tell us all about yourself. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Well, you can find me on my Twitch channel most of the time. Well, I will say most of the time, most of the time I'm there.
Yeah.
I what do I do? I stream stuff, my
Yes.
games that I play. Lately
So
it's
I've heard.
been Warframe. But when Dark Tide comes out, I will probably buy that and play it instead. But other than that, you will find me just for the next little bit on Sundays. We are wrapping up the World at Large. I play Bigford's Bark Swipe, everyone's favorite teen dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The owl bear with a heart of gold. Yeah. Or bugbear with a heart of gold. Yeah. Oh. And next in line, Roosbar. Oh, what are you streaming?
Here.
What are you doing?
Nothing right now. Work's been way too busy for me to have any time for that.
All right. Well, we'll
but
get into
soon,
it.
soon.
Excellent. We'll just get into a game right away here, so you can get away from work because work sucks.
Yeah.
Next, Mana Queen. You do stuff. Tell us about stuff.
I do stuff. Every Wednesday, you can find me over on Watering Haven Publications every Wednesday afternoon. We are currently in a terrible, terrible place. We started at the Witchlight Carnival, and now we are deep in somewhere terrible.
So Detroit?
Terrible things are happening, but great things. Terrible, but great things are happening. But yeah, so every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 Eastern, you can find me over at Wandering Haven Publications. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully after I'm done with my own busy season at work, because I don't have time for my own channel right now, but hopefully come this winter, I'll be able to get that back up and going. So,
and we'll tell everybody all about it then. Where they can find out about all of that and everything else is our Discord, which I've just posted there. If you are looking for a supportive place on the internet and a freaking mean it, join. We will get you into games. If you want to play, you can play. You do not have to have a camera. You don't even really need technically to have a mic. We can do play by text. I don't care. If you want to play, we'll figure out a way to do it. The only limitation is you have to let me stream it. So, if you haven't been in one of these yet, let me know. Go to the Discord, go to the looking for players, or go to the right spot, the right channel, and watch for future upcoming things. There's many new shows coming up very, very soon. And there we go.
Interjection there of that you were my first ever stream. And so anybody who's hesitant, Kevin is a great first-time stream host. So
thank you.
It's
been a tremendous amount of fun. We've got a whole bunch of people that have come in off social media, like off of Twitter, and that blows me away. I mean, it takes bravery to come and stream every time you do it. But to answer some rando on Twitter that says, "Hey, come play on my stream, it's going to be weird." To take that jump, I appreciate that very, very much. So let's make it cool. Which brings us to back. Oh, yes. Oh, and does Zoom ever hate it when you do that? It's like, not a person, not a person, not a person.
Yeah, I'm working with my therapist on that.
It's a you issue. It's not a Zoom issue.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's okay. People with issues make good content. What content are you making? Do you see that segue? Damn.
Perfectly done. I don't actually make any content anywhere at any time. I'm mostly involved in somebody else's content, like my lovely wife and much, much better half. Just don't tell her how much better she could have done than me. Blaze of Gloriosa. She streams Monday, Wednesdays, and most Fridays. And you can usually hear me laughing in the background or modding for her. I keep teasing Kevin with the possibility of games that I just haven't solidified yet, but I've actually got the Deadlands idea pretty well solid and the D&D 5e pretty well solid, so we'll see where we go from there. You may see more of my face and you will come to regret it, but that's what I've got.
Never.
If I get into that Deadlands game, I'm hoping to regret it 3 or 4 times. Deadlands is a great game for dramatic, violent, epic character death. And oh yeah, line them up and knock them over. I'll come up with a binder full. We'll just play till they're all dead. Really, honestly, the only thing I heard out of all of that though was that Blaze of Gloriosa is available Saturday and Sunday nights, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up on Saturdays and Sundays. So stay tuned in the Discord.
You have been challenged.
Binders full of characters. Yes, soon to be X characters. Yes. You have to carry a big red pen. When you make real paper characters, you have to have a big red pen with you that you can cross them out and make it very final. Yeah. Oh, it's good. And you have a good cry and you start another one.
Big stamp with a skull on it.
Yeah, just yeah. A big Punisher stamp. Okay.
I believe in reincarnation for characters.
Oh, okay, yes.
Maybe
well,
that one's dead, but they could pop up slightly modified in another world and angry about it.
In D&D, you have to wait quite a while before you do any of those crossings out of characters, because you never know when somebody might come across 1,000 gold piece diamond.
Yes.
And
Never know.
Ear
Very well timed sip there, Kevin.
It's all in the timing. Speaking of which, let's start. This week's episode is called Past. If you remember this, the characters don't know this yet, but they've been sent on a series of missions by an ultra rich and powerful patron who is declared Chalhan, a form of vengeance on someone for a social slight that happened hundreds of years ago. They're tracking their enemy and going through 7 portions of their life and showing that they and not that person have control. They've chosen not to kill them. Some would say what they're doing is worse. What they're doing is destroying them. They want to destroy their reputation, their legacy, their life. But our characters don't know that yet. This episode is called Past. And as everyone with an English degree, I realize, knows, who controls the past controls the future, and who controls the present controls the past. It's George Orwell. It's also from Harlequin, 1990, which is what all of this is based on. The 4 of you are borderline well off, just on the last couple of jobs. You could stop, but you're not in this for middle class. Might as well stick around and see what comes next. History's written by the victors in so many ways, and then rewritten. Yeah, the best part is 100 years later, when that is overturned, the new victors get to rewrite it. So history is flexible. The message is different this time. It's that same icon, that executive realities icon, but this time the message is an invitation to a private club none of you have ever heard of. Seems you're moving up in the world. It's called Place 12, and there's an address. You each receive this message in the privacy of your own homes, or, accommodations. What do you do with that information? It's for this evening. These guys never give you any advantage. You know the next mission you're going to space. That's about all you know. So now you've been invited to a restaurant you've never heard anything about. Feedback. What's your response to getting this message?
I bring up the location. I get maps, where it is, who owns it, as much information as I can steal off the net.
Give me a hack. 3 dice. Give me a roll. 5s and 6s.
We got a 5.
Okay, a success. There's nothing. There's no website. There's no advertising. You go to Google Maps and walk down that street. It's just a door. There's no sign. I mean, it's a very nice door. It looks like maybe it's made out of teak. Definitely real wood. And there's a wall-mounted camera above it that's just panning back and forth.
I would like to do something.
Yes. What would you like to do?
I'd like to use connections to find out like what kind of place this is, clientele, dress code, etc.
Perfect. That's just straight up connections. Yeah. Yeah. Give me 3 dice. Yeah. There. It's advantage. You know people.
1.
1 success. It's probably all you ever going to get out of this is a probably with 1 success. It's probably one of these places that only ever lasts about 2 weeks until it's not cool anymore. And only not the super hyper rich go there, but the well off. It's management and up sort of thing, right? This is not working class bar, but it'll have some sort of theme to it or something that makes it special. But when people get bored and stop coming, they close it and move it and open up under a different name with a different motif. As far as dress code goes, people have seen people going in and out dressed, full-blown tux and evening gown. No weapons. No weapons, no armor. Clearly.
Oh, that gives me an opportunity to break out my full bulletproof tux.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
The combat tux.
Yeah. So yeah, you
tuxedo.
Which you iron it with a tiger torch. And hit it with a stick until it's flat. Yes. So, Jet, what are you doing next? What are you doing with this information?
Jet's just because he can, really. He's not doing any research, and this was my plan before I heard anybody's research. He's going to bust out his own tactical tux.
Yeah.
Which is more stab proof than bulletproof.
Yep.
He's going to reluctantly leave old Zappy and his magical bag of tricks behind.
Yeah.
But he'll still have a few tricks on him.
Yeah. It's one of those kind of restaurants for sure.
Yep.
And Jason, what preparations do you make?
Well, I mean, Jay doesn't eat or drink.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
The fact that he's been invited to this place, he's like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Or that's bizarre.
That's suspicious.
They don't know me at all.
Yeah, pretty much of like, you've hired me to do so many jobs and you invite me to go out to eat.
Yeah.
That's weird. So he's already on high alert. He'll probably just do his own cursory searching, like nothing that requires a roll or just like, general internet search. But then he'll just be like, okay, well, he'll like polish his little projector ball up. And the good thing about being a hologram is that most of his weapons are just software that are installed with him, right? So he can just like leave it in his bottle. It's fine, so he polishes his little hover projector ball up. But when he projects himself, he's moderately well dressed. He doesn't really go to a lot of these places a lot. So like when they're like, oh, white tie, he's like, oh, and he's probably wearing a white tie.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and a t-shirt.
And like a sports jacket type of, and he's like,
the tuxedo t-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, not that bad, but he does his best. But he probably when he sees everybody like way more dressed up, he probably goes like blinks.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Blips
Yeah,
back into
for
his
you,
ball,
it's a blip.
back
Yeah.
out. And I was like, oh no. Like,
so
comes back out like kind of dressed.
Perfect.
Appropriately.
Feedback. You didn't. I didn't get any information on you on how you plan on dressing after finding out what you found out.
What feedback's gonna wear is it kind of looks like somebody took a tracksuit and tried to turn it into a tuxedo, and all of the contour lines are neon, the same color as his hair.
Wow.
It's a tracksuit.
It's a
oh my god.
Yeah,
is he wearing like highly polished
velour?
Adidas?
It's awful. It's velour, and it's in my head it's purple and green. What color is that? Right?
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah, okay.
Purple with
Ow.
green
Oh my
lines.
god.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's garish as hell. It's Neo Kitsch as fuck.
Oh, I need a third eye
What?
so I can poke all three of them at the same time. That's
Oh, one
hideous.
of two things is going to happen then. Either Feedback's going to be relentlessly heckled, or he's going to start a fashion trend.
Or
Dude, this is Cyberpunk.
possibly both.
He probably fits right the fuck in.
Well, depending on the part of town, and yeah, this is it's one of those not nice parts of town. I'll just keep talking until our other player gets back. But Place 12 is in the ads, and it's like I said, nobody's heard anything about it. But do you all show up on time?
Fashionably late.
Jason's early.
Jet's at least 15 minutes early. All the time,
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
No.
30, casing the place, watching people come in and out.
Okay.
At least 30 minutes early.
So watching people come in and out, you see, yeah, it's tuxes, evening gowns, but it's like advanced stuff. Like some of the gowns are made out of light. Like they're not even made out of material anymore. They're projections that hide and don't hide as necessary.
And I'm going to show up in another thing that has been bankrolled by a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be like whatever the Daimler Benz is of the time.
Yep.
You know, because
You
all
rent
of
a-
the manufacturers in this era have like
they've all blended.
merged
Yeah.
and
Yep.
yeah.
So you're getting a limo? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
this is
you-
going to be like the equivalent of $150,000.
Okay. Gotcha. A
Car.
Toyota. We're combining cars. It's a Toyota and Volvo got together. It's the safest fucking
It's-
car in the world.
This is gonna be like a 3-year-old Mercedes or something.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Audi,
Mercedes.
2-year-old Audi.
Jet's
It's a
getting there in a
Mercedes.
trouble bubble. Jet really likes those things. So
Yeah.
just gonna little hairnet on, keep
Yeah.
his, and then just
Yeah.
trouble bubble his way there.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
Some
Jet and Jason
Jetsons.
are very kindred souls.
Yeah.
Like they're both
Yeah.
probably like 15 minutes early. They're both like,
Yep.
I
Feedback?
trust
Yeah.
nothing and no one.
Yeah. Feedback. How about you? But you said late,
Feed-
fashionably late?
Yeah, Feedback shows up in a surprisingly well-tuned sports car.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Feedback's at all, but when he gets out of the stupid thing, it looks exactly like he was supposed to be wearing it, or supposed to be almost like he coordinated.
Yep.
So it's loud.
Oh.
Sorry, it's not loud.
It's
it
yellow
sounds
with
like the
puce.
Batmobile.
It's
Yeah,
Oh.
it's got that high-powered turbine.
Oh yeah. The
Does
two
it
noises,
have the
yeah.
ground effects?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know
and
what
the
I
lights.
see in my head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
What I see in my head is a super tuned Lada.
Yeah. It's got
It is now.
got the spinny hubcaps, but they're mistuned, so they don't actually do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Anyway, the four of you arrive. They won't let you in until you're all there, so you all have to wait for
Wait
feedback.
for the Lada.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
you guys are all park your vehicles. You're informed by the valet. We don't park them, just put them on the street here. We'll just make sure that nothing happens to them. Don't worry about it. And you see on the roof, there's sort of a shady figure with a rifle walking back and forth. They
I'm
don't have
gonna,
valet
like,
parking. They have sniper cover.
I'm gonna transfer the guy like 100 creds or something like that.
Very good, sir. In you go then, the four of you. Off you go. And he beep boop boop beep boop, and the door opens up, and the four of you step into the foyer. It's a small area locked on the other side. There's another door, and standing in front of it with his arms crossed in judgment is the maitre d'. Their dress tuxedo is a lot more, their armored tuxedo is a lot more armored and a lot less tuxedo than yours. It's plates of hard material looking vaguely like a tuxedo, including a transparent sort of bubble that covers the head. You can see through that on the neck. There's a real tuxedo underneath, like a real cloth one. And he looks at the four of you and says, you have, I presume, an appointment?
Of course.
You know why we're here.
And
I'm on the list.
he's very carefully not looking at feedback. He's like, "Nah, nah." The eyes just
Under
He
my
can't hear me over
eyes.
he can't hear me over my shirt.
He's
burns
broke,
my
but he
eyes.
can't throw you out. You're still it's legit.
We're
right?
on the
it's
list.
it's a well, and it's a real tuxedo. They've got a room where they could make you change, but it's technically a tuxedo. So
Yeah, he doesn't want to go down that road, extra armor plating or not.
yeah. You have been scanned. Did anybody try and sneak anything in? Weapons wise?
Nothing that could
Yeah.
be consumed, like considered a weapon
Yeah.
by
I-
itself.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I was
Jason is
seriously
himself.
considering it. I was seriously considering it, but then I realized, you know what, I'm probably just as well off without.
Yeah, I mean, especially
Feedback
in,
has the glove on, but it's kind of like
remember, in
it's-
Tiny Frontiers, you can punch for somebody for exactly as much damage as you can shoot them for.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
can throw a rock at them for exactly as much damage as a bullet does. There's no need
Yeah.
to take your weapons.
feedback has the he has got the glove on, but
Yeah.
no visible weapons.
Cough, cough, brawler, cough, cough.
Yes, exactly. Even better, yes.
The scan would reveal that in one of his pockets, Jet does have a mini tuxedo sized for a floating silver orb, just in case
You're gonna
they were that
four-ball
level
it?
of dick.
Already, in case Jason didn't get it right. Yeah, Jason, you said you got there. You look around and yeah, it's like full tux.
Yeah, I
not
mean, he
tails,
probably,
but like full
flips in
tux.
and out.
Yeah.
I mean, he is himself. Like, there's only so much he can do.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
In
well,
terms
the
of-
thing is, you can make yourself look like whatever you want. You can go, I want to look like that guy, and you do.
Right, exactly. And so, like, when it comes to weaponry, like, Jason can, like, look like he has no weapons, but it's what he is. You know what I mean? You can only do so much.
All right. So with that, as the scan finishes, the armored tuxedo around him starts to come off like a reverse Iron Man. It sort of and peels back into the wall behind him. You realize it was
Oh.
actually part of the wall, and he steps forward out of it as the shins open up in his tuxedo that probably cost most of what you guys have made so far. It is, it's Louis Vuitton, Giorgio, and they're both dead, so it's one of a kind. It's hyper expensive. And he nods to you and says, "If you would be so kind to just follow me." And the inner door opens. It's not a
Urge
restaurant.
to break a
Yeah.
universal solvent capsule just somewhere on his person. The inner anarch in me just wants to ruin this man's day.
Oh, okay. You got not sticky fingers. What's the skill in this
Nimble
game?
Oh no,
Fingers.
that
Nimble
would I
fingers?
believe be
Oh.
construed as a weapon. So
Oh
it
yes, you're
doesn't
just gonna
have
throw it
one.
at him. Then yes, absolutely. Yeah, light
No,
range,
no, no,
or
no.
slap it on him. Okay, yeah, light
No,
melee.
no, Jet doesn't have any of this. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that would be classified as a weapon. But the urge,
Oh, okay.
like he's looking around for something that he could
Understood.
use.
Yes, gotcha. Right. Well, the thing is, if that was a restaurant, there'd be all kinds of stuff you could do, but it isn't. It's a hallway with a series of nondescript doors on both sides, like apartment building. They take you about 3/4 of the way down on the left-hand side, and they stop. This door looks just like every other one. If you were counting, it's the 5th of 7 on the left-hand side. They stop at that door that looks like every other one. They punch in a long code, like 15, 16 digits, while hiding the pad with their body. And turn to you. If you would be so kind as to give me a moment to step away before you press enter, and you can see the enter button is flashing. It wouldn't do for me to be seen unnecessarily. And they do that thing where they bow away. By the time they stand back up, they're halfway down the hall.
At least it means I don't got to tip him. All right.
Yeah. Enter button
Probably
is
made more on
Blip.
interest in that suit than any tip you did.
Moose. Bam, you hit the button. Moose, you see it first. The others have to kind of look around Moose because Moose is Moose. It looks like a bomb went off in here. And then you realize that that's actually this room's motif. There's a heavy stone table, cracked and charred. There's half-shattered pillars showing the rebar inside them, partially burnt but somehow still usable high-backed wooden chairs, and overhead a single incandescent light bulb, so old its glass is clear and not frosted, swings perpetually from a single frayed dark gray fabric wrapped wire. There's even the smell of cordite and gunpowder. A talented designer, yes, it's breakfast. A talented designer has rendered
I think
broken
I used to
windows.
live here.
Yes. A talented designer has rendered broken windows looking out onto a bucolic forest scene, interrupted by barbed wire, 5-meter fences, and sandbagged gun pits. Chat, if anybody recognizes, or players, if anybody recognizes that description, let me know, and I will be impressed. But in the midst of all of this, sits a shimmering image of an Alagiri Malak, their word for great lady. It isn't until they move and you feel that subtle displacement of air that you realize the shifting veil light patterns of light surrounding them is not a visual effect. It's a force gown. It forms and unforms and reforms and melts away, always strategically promising to reveal and then covering instead. Terech nachru malach helika. And then they switch to English. I am Malach Helika. You are the ones I am here to see. There is the faintest hint of a bow, like it never gets past the left eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
And they invite you to sit. How do you respond?
Just out of character for a moment. Didn't we just beat the shit out of a bunch of Alligiri?
A bunch of fake alligators.
Oh, fake
Those are
alligators.
humans pretending to be
the
alligators.
posers,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a real one, right? Yeah.
That was called Hates. Right? Getting to make sense now.
It does make sense now. Gonna go take a seat.
This bunker-like room, he said, adding hints, is weirdly lit. Like this light bulb is swinging, but that would be really annoying and distracting. So even though it's swinging and it's lit, there's some other source of light that's sort of offsetting that. This place is art. It looks like a blown-up building, but it is absolute art. Close. First guess, close. What do the rest of you do?
Pretty sure I've been here before. I'll sit down and like gesture for a drink.
The door behind them opens, and one of those incredibly nondescript androids comes in. Like they're blurred. They look like Kyle's background. Like they're physically difficult to look at. They're supposed to not be there. They're almost like diffraction grating. You can almost see through them. They're just there enough so they don't run into you.
Yeah, or like those things that you look at and they're not there, and you look away and you can see their shadow. That thing.
And they come up to you. A table grows nanobot style up out of the table in front of you, one crystal dot at a time. And they open their arm up like this in front of you, and it's just a list of taps of various kinds of alcohols, and they just gesture. All you have to do is point. This is the good shit. Until 2 days ago, you couldn't afford this shit.
Just water, thank you.
Okay. They put out their finger. They put out their baby finger, and your glass fills up with water.
Guinness stout.
Barbot. This is ridiculous. Anyway, each of you is offered the selection and given your drink of choice.
Jason doesn't drink, so anything.
Of course
he
not.
just does nothing.
Your host sits at the end of the table, and they've got this fairly small wine glass. It looks, for those that know, like an ice wine. You know, like the dessert wines. They're really small. It's almost like a little bigger than a shooter.
Yeah.
There's no liquid in it. There's a purple gas. And they're holding it what appears to be perfectly still, but every once in a while there's sort of a boof in the gas, and part of it sort of like little fingers tries to climb out of the bottle, out of the glass, and then drops back down the side. And as each of you go to have your sniff or your first sort of encounter with this incredibly expensive alcohol, they take it up to their nose and go, and it's just gone. And for a second, they just glaze. It's just, A big smile, and then they come back. They put the glass down, and the host or the server uses the other hand and refills the glass with this little shot of purple stuff.
I suppose it saves on needing an extra long pinky nail, but not my thing.
Well, we can get you that as well if you'd like.
No, never when I'm working, and despite the trappings, this is work.
That's good to hear. I like working with professionals. My patron has sent me here to express their appreciation for your efforts so far, and to offer you another contract. As to the first part, each of you will find that 10,000 credits has been deposited to your shielded accounts as a bonus for your excellent work up until this point. And it's there. As to the second part, the job, I do hope none of you suffer from zero-G nausea. I hear it can be debilitating, is on one of these space stations. Is everyone all right with that?
Jason seems to his image kind of blinks and vibrates, and it's kind of as if somebody's that very excited leg jiggle is happening.
Yeah.
Right. So he kind of his image just
the holographic
just a little bit.
The holographic equivalent of a child getting so excited they go.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just there's a slight continual vibration to his
There's a hum.
He's ready. Yeah, there's a slight visual hum to him.
Yeah.
I just take a quiet sip of my scotch and just maintain eye contact.
Oh, it does that. It
Feedback's
does.
Jaw
Yes, it is. It is purple haze. But yeah, So yes, all those things happen. They pause and sort of let that sink in for a second and say to you, the trip itself is a two-stage process. First, a boost to high Earth orbit transit terminus. Then, once you've switched to a more appropriate transport, you'll proceed to the station itself. Some wit has named the terminus Infinity and the station Beyond. So your tickets will read to infinity and beyond.
Is part of our job to shoot that person somewhere painful but not necessarily fatal?
Better than that. You're going to steal something they don't want stolen, and you're going to leave something that they don't want to own. But I am getting ahead of myself. You'll be traveling as tourists, and your documents are exquisite fakes. Once there, you'll get to spend 2 days playing tourist in one of the most expensive locations in the known universe. On our expense account, while reconnoitering the layout and especially of the north end. One end of the tube-like structure is called north and the other south for no obvious reason. But then your mission really begins. Any questions so far? Which is something. Last person told you that you could ask questions, but they weren't going to answer them. So, Moose, you started talking. Just having another drink. Yep.
Feedback doesn't sound nervous, but his question is will EVA be required?
Only during your exit. It will be brief, and there will be motivation, shall we say? A simple hop from the terminal to a tug. Shouldn't be more than 100 meters or so. Open space at all?
Feedback does not look pleased by this answer.
Yeah. At the phrase of motivation, Jason just dims a little bit. He doesn't do that, but he just kind of, Jason's more stoic than I am as a player. Yeah. So Jason just kind of goes, motivation. Lethal motivation. It's just deadpan.
Not guaranteed. That would be counterproductive to the performance as it's going right now. But shall we say, you'll be leaving in a hurry, even under the best of circumstances. You are, after all, stealing a family heirloom. It's not the family heirloom of the family that currently owns it, but it is a family heirloom nonetheless. There is one thing you should know about Beyond before you go. This tourist trap, as I've described it, is in fact a money laundering operation for its real inhabitants, which is a multi-generational family of some of the best thieves in the known universe. In fact, it's one of them you're stealing from. We don't know their real name or even what name they're currently using because they're successful thieves. But one of the things they stole years ago was a book belonging to my patron. It was stolen decades ago. It was recently made known in certain circles that it will soon come up for private auction. And that is why we need you to retrieve it now.
And I'm guessing we're going to leave a forgery, possibly a damaging forgery, in its place?
You sense the deja vu of this mission, not quite, but close. And they reach underneath their seat and pull out a cooler and plunk it on the table. And there's that fine mist coming off of it. This and all of your gear will be shipped to Beyond separately. It's all absolutely illegal to have there, but don't worry, everybody's got it. It's just illegal importing it, so we'll take care of that for you. But to answer your question, yes. You'll be taking the book and leaving this. They take a green sweet.
There's a head in there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, Jason wouldn't have any shame of like reaching for it and looking to see what it is.
Please
like,
don't open it, and it is locked.
Yeah, feedback's like,
Jason
there's a
doesn't
head
like
in
that.
there, isn't there?
Jason doesn't like that.
They look at you, feedback, and pick up a green sweet off the table, and they pop it. And this purple gush runs down their fingers. And then the sweet at the end, a couple chews, and this one's just like, that's good. This isn't like the borderline hallucination of the drink or the sniff, right? The purple haze. But they do take their time enjoying it themselves. And they smile and continue. Sorry, what was the question?
There's a head in there, isn't there?
Not a head. But suffice it to say there are 4 items in there that you should probably recognize.
Yeah, there's the realization.
Yes.
That kind of comes over Jason too.
It is a ritual. This deja vu feeling is going to happen more than once. But this run, and as they start to talk, a printout appears on their safe laptop, and I'm going to move you guys to the mission map so you can see it. Nobody else can, but they start ticking things off on their fingers. You guys can all see this, right? Roll 20. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
See the nods. Okay. They lean back and start going through this. As for the run itself, we strongly suggest that you, first thing, hack security for the station itself, and delete your bio bracelets from the system so that they can't track you. They'll be putting those on as soon as you arrive. There's no question about it. They will not let you leave the spaceship and enter the station without one. We don't want you drawing attention to yourself, so accept it. Figure out a way to hack it from inside the system. We're sure you're capable. Once you do that, once you figure out how to do that, don't do it until you start the run. You have 2 days to party recon to your heart's content. 48 hours on Beyond costs most people more than what most people make in a lifetime. Enjoy yourselves.
When do we leave?
About 12 hours from now.
That's
Secondly,
plenty. That's all that Jason says. Is that's
Yeah.
plenty.
Secondly, you need to physically break into the spindle. That's the north pole of this tube, and a sort of an image comes up, and it just looks like a tube, like a cigar tube. Just goes along like that, and it's round at both ends. It doesn't have a flat end. It's got 2 round ends. And then off each one of those, there's like this antenna structure. It's not until you realize that each of those antennas is sort of 50 meters long that you get the scale of this thing. It is 5 kilometers long, 3 miles. It is 2 kilometers wide, over a mile across. It rotates once in slightly less than a minute, thus generating 1 G on the inside surface. You have to get to here, and they point to the north spindle, where, of course, there is no gravity. Once you physically break into the spindle, the computer system there is isolated from the outside and the rest of the station, so you need to get inside before you can hack the system we need you to hack. Then, you need to find the room called the museum. We have no idea where it is in the spindle, only that it is in there somewhere. Then, in that room, you'll find something called the talking head. We have had very difficult time finding any information on this. All we know is it is a mechanical valve computer terminal. Also in that room, you will find the key word that activates the head. Again, that's all the details that we have. We don't know where it is in that room or how it is shown, only that it is there. They come around. They've used up all the fingers. They're coming around again. Use that word to get the head to tell you where Cornus Sapientiae is. That's the book we're looking for. It's in Alighieri, and it translates as Horns of Wisdom, but it is often called the Hornucopia. It's an ancient manuscript that features figures that move about the page as the homely tales and advice are read aloud. Find and steal that book, and in its place leave this, and they point to the cooler. Do not look inside, you know what's there already, there's no point. Leave it sealed. This and all of your gear will be shipped separately because, as I pointed out, this is all illegal, so once you're there, it will be waiting for you in your rooms. Again, technically illegal while you're there. Hide it, at least. I very strongly suspect that's where they got the idea. They actually have curly horns and tails. They're, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except they're super nice and they heal in the sun. It's
yes,
weird.
they heal when they stand in the sun.
And they're known for being very polite.
Once you have stolen this, we need you to get out of the spindle and about 10 blocks back towards the center of the structure. There you will find the shipping and receiving docks. And there you will have to do a short spacewalk. Suits will be there. They will be emergency suits. And it will be less than 100 meters out to the tug that will be waiting for you. At that point, we'll bring you... Yes?
I have an out of character question.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's that one. So, out of character. So Jason can be corporeal.
Yeah.
But does he carry weight as a hologram?
Your choice, essentially. Your little thingy, your absolute minimum weight for your thingy would be like maybe a kilo.
Yeah, the projection ball. Yeah.
Pounds,
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yep,
I had the and I had the thought, and I was like, oh, hold on to it. But then you answered, so I was like, okay.
So yes, once you're back to the station and out to the tug, we'll get you and this and the tome back to Earth. So, any questions? And they press a button on the table, the door opens, and the android comes back in and pours 5 of the misty purple drinks, 1 for each of you.
A few questions. First off, is the book something we are not to read? As your patron has been oddly specific. Because I don't want to piss somebody off who could do this to somebody richer than any of us could ever hope to be in our wildest dreams.
A fair question.
Call me pragmatic.
A fair question. And as long as no damage is done to the book, you may feel free. It is, my children assure me, cute. They use that word like they're not quite sure what it means. This is a lady of style and, this is a lady of the court, right? In a very structured society.
So noted. Additionally, are we to avoid collateral damage as a standard here? Is this like someplace your patron does actually like to visit and so should probably not be partially set on fire?
In this instance, we would prefer the absolute minimum of damage, and I can assure you that this time the gods won't blow any shit up. So yeah, slip sort of meta sentence there for a second. Yes, we would prefer that this one be done in a stealthy fashion. Yeah, I'm watching Me Too. I'm bad for that.
At that point,
you're gonna meet a self-insert. You're gonna meet a
Moose.
self-insert on this vision. That you'll know immediately who this is. $10.
Okay,
It's
well,
a
that's-
smutty romance. No, I didn't see the rest of it. Okay.
Funny romance novel.
Oh, yes, yeah.
That's what Robin
So-
said.
Yeah, it's a first edition Harlequin romance.
I used to work
Womp
with
womp.
Harlequin. Fun fact. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Any other questions?
So we've covered collateral damage, which is
This has
kind of
gone for a
important with
drink.
this group.
Yep.
We have covered whether or not the book should be read, but obviously it must be damage must be prevented to it at all costs.
This
have
needs to be
12
sealed,
hours
left
until we
sealed,
go.
of course. We need them to pop that.
Yes, leave that up. We're leaving in 12 hours. We have 2 days. Is there a time limit beyond those 2 days? Like, does our visa run out, as it were, after those 2 days, or are we do what you want for 2 days, must execute on the third day because we're not footing any more of this bill?
72 hours after you arrive, the very private auction begins. At that point, they will be moving the book from the museum to an unknown location on Earth, and we will lose track of it. So yes, there is a very hard limit on when this needs to be done. If what you're asking is, can you squeeze an extra 12 hours of fun out of this? The answer is yes. You might not get much sleep.
No, I assure you, I am a professional. If I've got an extra 12 hours, it's not going to be for fun. It's going to be for planning and getting as many variables out of the equation as possible.
Sleep is for the biological. Sleep. Jason doesn't sleep.
I will add that, as I've mentioned, weapons are technically illegal on the station, but everyone is heavily armed. But it is all hidden. You won't see a thing. Obviously, the authorities could crack down and have chosen not to. As I told you, the entire thing is a money laundering cover for some very, very profitable art thieves.
So what you're saying is that we can throw money at our problems and they'll go away.
You can throw our money at your problems and it will go away.
Third thing, well, actually probably fourth at this point, is possibly liberating some other stolen items considered collateral damage.
There's a grin, and she says, "One moment." And she tilts back, and you see her eyes start to sort of flicker. She's got an insert. She's basically checking. She's having a conversation with somebody inside of her eye, basically. Like watching a text message go.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining the little AIM messenger sound going off just
Yeah.
in her ear. Just
It's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the eye unglazes, and they lean back in. Were you to liberate the head? And there's a pause. One of the few things in the spindle that actually belongs to the thief. It would be sold. You would receive a commission. I'm not sure what that commission is, but any percentage of priceless is probably quite a good payday.
Putting a head in a box. Got it.
Mm.
That's assuming it's actually a head.
Metaphorical head in a box.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing you'll have a couple of combat engineers with you who are good at figuring out how to disconnect things.
Definitely
You
not a
hack it?
bomb. Definitely not a bomb.
Definitely not a bomb.
Jason was going to
no!
pause.
As soon as you
Not a
said that,
bomb
yeah,
yet.
I realized. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like it's like the 30th, the 25th or 2500 AD equivalent, or Jesus, 2250 AD equivalent of Indiana Jones with the bag of sand. Right? It's the tech version of that.
So the image of the spindle came up,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
No, just out of character to clarify, is that the entirety of, was it explained if that's the entirety of the Beyond? Or if
That's
okay.
the whole spaceship. Yeah. It's
Okay,
massive.
Jason is going to ask if there are available floor plans.
Yes, there absolutely are. In fact, the easiest way to do this and the way to draw the least amount of attention is to simply go online and look it up, because it's a tourist trap, right?
Okay, so there's like
the tourist
like
maps,
park maps for it.
the interactive map where you hover over every
Yeah,
building tells
okay.
you it's all 5-star reviews. Yeah, it's
Okay.
that map.
Gotcha. Jason
which
wants to know though if there's anything that's, you know, because there's the online reviews and interactive maps, but clearly there are people who are like, look, I found this really cool thing that nobody knows about.
Oh yes, yeah.
Type of maps out there.
There are sectors that are actually marked on the official maps as being unofficial sectors. Nobody's officially talks about them because they're unofficially not there. But yeah, that happens. That exists up there. But what you do find out is that from looking at these maps, it spins. So the way this is laid out, if you think of that cigar tube, the roads going end to end are fairly normal. They're 5 kilometers long, so 3 miles from end to end and perfectly straight. The problem is when you stand on one and look all the way down to the other end of the tube and look to the roads that are to your side, they curve up on both sides, steeply and curving, because the station is round and spins. So if you look up that way, you can see the road climbing up until almost 90 degrees up the sides.
Are they
of
like
this.
almost like helixes? Like
They're actually circles. They're just circles.
Oh,
all
they're
the
just
way down,
circles.
just
Okay.
rings. Yeah, they think
Yeah,
like
think
like bamboo.
Think of the halo.
Yeah.
The halo.
Oh,
ring.
the halo rings. Okay,
Yeah.
that made it more clear in my head.
That way.
Out of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, the streets that go sideways, if you were to go off the main street and turn sideways and start walking up one of these hills, you could walk all the way around and come back down. 2 kilometers across, that would be about 6.3 kilometers ish round trip, and you come back to the same
2.5 miles.
Almost 4. But you come back to the same spot, the same intersection from the other side. And the whole place is like that. At the end on the bubbles, of course, that's where there's 1G. As you go up, as you go towards the centers, that gravity goes away because there's less spin. So at the spindles, where one end, the South Pole is where you're going to land. That's where all the landing stuff is. You can see all this on the map. The North Pole is absolutely blank. That spindle, there's nothing on the map. It just, like, it doesn't even say private property. It's just grayed out. So you have no map beyond that point, but it's at 0G.
Okay, so like there's no, they don't have any, I guess that's the question, is like Jason's like, do we have a map for the places that we're not supposed to go? Like, does anybody have any sort of map for this?
To get into, once you're inside the spindle, you will be able to hack their system, hopefully, and at least find an internal map. That does mean one of you is going to have to hack, and the others are going to have to follow through physically through the rooms that the hacker is helping you.
Okay, yeah. Jason definitely gives feedback, the look for that. I'm like, that's all you,
Oh,
buddy.
Yeah.
Feedback scratches the jack-in port at the base of his neck because he knows he's probably going to be using that tonight.
Well, here's the thing, feedback. This could mean, because this is, you physically have to plug into this system because it has no external connections. And you know, when you plug in, you're gone, right, from the physical world. So you could end up having to stay in one place connected to the computer while the rest of them sort of go through where you're telling them to go.
The kind of net running job he's used to doing.
The double, yeah, exactly. You're the net run and they're doing the shadow run underneath you, right? So yeah.
I am the voice on the phone.
Absolutely. So you know your job.
Guy in the chair.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I think we've covered the germane details. Just in case, for Roost Bar, real quick, quick recap, since Moose was there, but you had to run real quick. No collateral damage. If we can steal the robotic head, we're supposed to crack to get the location of this book. There's a huge bonus, but they're really nothing about stealing anything else. So just kind of keep your eye out on that.
Other than the hint that pretty much everything else up there is stolen property. So
Yeah.
if you were to steal that and bring it back and try and fence it, you'd be in possession of stolen property.
More see if our patron would be,
Yes.
willing to like be an intermediary for a finder's fee.
I'm sure they could. Yeah. Either way.
But those are really, and we have 72 hours from the moment we land before they're going to start the auction and move this item. So we can dally a little bit past the 2 days, but we probably should not.
Oh, good information. With that, they hold up their tiny glass of purple mist. And they give it like a spin between their fingers, and it starts to spiral in the glass and do that sort of tornado effect. To success, then, my patrons, mine, and yours.
It's just mimicking the exact same thing.
You just haven't hit.
Nope. Missed over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Just literally leaves it there. Like there's
just
no
leave it sitting on the table. Don't even pick it up.
No shame, just leaves it.
Yep. The two of you that have the blast, it's like breathing in a calm and beautiful peace. It doesn't have a taste, it just generates a feeling. And on some level, I mean, you know it's a corticostimulant, but it feels real. No tension can exist here. Time doesn't exist at all. Eventually, still, the world starts to impinge.
I don't like that at all, but I'm not going to show it.
A split second after having their snuffle, Harlequin stands up, bows to the two of you that are still aware of the room. Again, that sort of one eyebrow bow. I have to bow to you, but I don't really, I shouldn't have to socially. And then turns around and leaves the room. A couple seconds later, these two come back. The waiter's standing in front of you waiting to take your orders.
Feedback's like, I'm too young to experience that. He's sitting there, he's 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, chemical joy. Yeah.
To experience that.
Yeah.
Once you get past like
too young to experience it, too old to appreciate, or too young to appreciate it, too old to experience it.
Yeah, it's all it is in my head is just a pure endorphin hit. It's just joy. Yeah. Chemical happy.
Jet's gonna leave.
Okay.
He's not gonna eat. It might be an art installation piece, but the whole thing is very stupid to him.
Yep.
And
Anybody
he
ever
doesn't
get
think
it?
much of people who enjoy it. He's just gonna go grab some McDonald's on the way home,
Okay.
or McTaco, Bell Donald's, however that mergers.
Absolutely.
Might,
yeah. I love it.
and
Everything's merged.
prepare.
It's all Taco Bell.
It's also now
everything
the
is
healthiest
Taco
food
Bell.
on the planet because the rest of it's mostly kibble. But you can afford McDonald's. Let's just put it that way. You got money now. You can afford McDonald's.
There's a chain called It's Not Dog Food.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually 65% real meat.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's not meat.
And that's the fries.
He is going to, of course, make sure to get a Soylent Shake on the way home.
Yes, yeah.
You can't really order a flavor though. The taste just varies from person to person.
Yes, yeah. Their punchline is really, it's not people.
It varies from person to person.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So I'm assuming Jason doesn't eat because Jason doesn't eat.
No, I'm like, yeah, Jason literally just doesn't eat.
So are
Period, the
you
end.
leaving or staying?
Jason's out. Like he has nothing else he needs to know, so
Okay,
he's
so
good.
you two are off to do stuff. The two that stayed I'm assuming the two of you stayed behind to eat. You drank their drink.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to eat their food too.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, now that you've come back to reality and you're grounded. Yeah, the waiter's standing in front of you. And they've got that look on their face like, just order. There is no menu. Just order.
Yes. Feedback's answer
Steak.
is it's a variety of munchies.
Yep.
Because at this point,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a few minutes later, a steak is produced of such epic size and quality as to the you kind of hear in the distance the cow that gave itself up for this steak. It just kind of nods and goes, "You're welcome." It's that good. Right? The munchies you ordered like junk food, right?
Yeah, he just starts
snacks,
rambling
like
off things 'cause
cheesies
he's still riding the high.
Yeah. So what you get is the gourmet version of those. So brie cheesies, breezies, yeah.
Breezies.
Something I actually saw on Iron Chef once. Hot dogs made out of crab meat. Just all this of amazing high-end gourmet food, but it looks and tastes kind of like junk food, but the best ever.
No, rich people are stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna regret this tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna regret this on the
actually, you won't, says the server. It's all been enzymatically matched to your system, so you were scanned on the way in. Eat as much as you want, sir. Another drink, sir. And he holds out the bottle, and it actually says hangover free on the bottom, and it's a bottle. It's like the drink you had before, not the purple shit. They saw your response to that. So. They're inviting you to a guilt-free food and alcohol bender in a private room that looks...
There's more of that.
As the camera pans out the window of this broken window of this room, leaving the two of you there just pulling a Joey. I don't know if you ever saw that Friends episode where everybody leaves but him, and there's like 7 plates on the table, and he looks up at the waiters and says, "You were about to see something really special." Or words to that effect. Sitting in not just a bunker, but that bunker. A copy of the one where Klaus von Stauffenberg put a bomb under a table and tried to kill a Hitler.
Oh, no.
On a replica of that room, the two of you eat and drink and make merry. You've got 72 hours, so you can just stick in there as long as you want. We'll leave you there for the moment as we pan away from the gluttony. The shame-free gluttony, because, no hangover, no bad guts, none of it in the morning.
The best kind of hedonism.
Yes, the hedonism with no price to pay, because that sends a good message. You guys have got all kinds of time. What would you like to do before you report to the Space Launch Center?
Well, Jason asked specifically about the amount of time they had.
Yep.
Because to the best of his knowledge from photos online, it's a tourist trap. So, you know how people post photos of like their Disney bracelets and things like that.
Yeah.
Like Jason is going to take that time and create the best replicas he physically can of those bracelets that they need to get off.
Okay. Yeah.
Now he can't program them at the moment.
Nope.
Right, because he hasn't had access to that programming.
Absolutely. But
for the moment,
I like this. Give me a technical role, which is 3 for you because you're a tech.
I was gonna say he's the back alley engineer here.
Yes.
It's 3d6, right?
You're engineering in the back alleys.
That's 1.
1 success. Okay. Yes. You basically get the look right. So they look right, and there's basically essentially a blank chip inside. You couldn't even you can't gain any information online, so you just had to leave sort of a generic blank chip in there.
Okay.
Probably uses Linux or something. Yeah, they're ready to be programmed.
Yeah, that was his whole thing, that they're ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Making 4 of them?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
He's spending his prep time making 4 of them.
They do show up a little bit later to take your stuff, your gear, all your weapons and all your illegals, and they pack it up into boxes, slap diplomatic immunity tape all over it, and ship it off. Jet, what are you doing? What are you prepping?
Jet's prepping. Well, illegal or not, old Zappy's probably not going to be something he can very easily get through the station, so it's going to be.
Oh, I see what you. Once you're there, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
it don't go under an overcoat.
No, Zappy does not. So it's going to be more.
I'm such a terrible person. I almost said, "Have you considered a pram?" Just be a little old grandpa pushing a little pram around with a
Yeah, he's
cannon
gonna
in
put
it.
a little
Cannon
bonnet and like a doll's face.
Oh, a little sticker that
Just
says,
on-
yeah, a little sticker on the back says "Caution, baby on board."
Yeah, no. I'll probably just take a standard pistol, but stuff his bag of tricks with things, including zero gravity boosters, whatever you want to call them, like personal zero gravity CO2 canister, something that they can use
so
to navigation.
Gotcha.
Jets.
Yeah, little thrusters. Gotcha. Okay.
Little thrusters.
I thought at first you meant like gravel, but no, I realize what you mean now.
A little EVA unit.
Yes, a little help me on
Extra
floating away. Yep, doesn't take much.
Exactly. And a few other tips.
As you're floating through space,
tricks
you're going,
and
damn, I
tricks.
wish that dinner last night had given me gas.
Yep. Yeah, but knowing my luck,
Yep.
they rip one and just tumble backwards end over end.
So yes, you're prepping for small jet powered packaging. Perfect.
Yeah, and of course to possibly have to dismantle something computer,
Oh, yeah, all your-
hydraulics,
All your gear. Yeah.
My gear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And a little beach ball shell for Jason's silvery thing.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Or a hamster ball.
Hamster ball.
Yeah.
I thought about a hamster ball.
Yeah.
but it's-
And because they hover, so they'd be hovering inside the ball, and the ball would.
Yeah.
Oh.
Please.
Okay, beach ball and the hamster ball.
The way
It's
Jack would
happening
be
so
like,
fast I can't keep up the beach ball every second. You know the
Jason, get
minute
in.
shapes.
And-
Yeah. Every second one is clear, so you can kind of see as you're rolling down the beach. You can kind of see. Bang! Oh shit! You caught me on a panel.
The way Jack could literally be like, Jason, get in, and Jason would be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like no questions, just okay.
Mission essential.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what you're doing, Moose. What are you prepping other than cleaning and everything before it goes?
Yeah, non-destructive.
Okay.
Non-destructive gear.
Non-destructive gear. No problem. Absolutely. And feedback. You're gonna have to hack. So your cyber deck, obviously.
Yeah.
What
So
else?
yeah, the deck's coming. He's actually bringing a secondary drive that is just sort of like a big block handheld drive for for whatever he's going to try and steal.
Okay.
Because
I got you.
he's data is power.
Yeah, you're gonna try and steal data. Okay, gotcha.
And an extra packet of nauseas, anti-nausea.
Anti-nausea medication.
'Cause he
Gotcha.
knows-
Yep. Zero's G sickness is not something you can practice for, except by
it's not
going into
something
zero
he's
G.
looking
So.
forward to.
All right. So
Oh, and a little he's got a little grappling gun with a like a winch.
okay.
Kind of the same idea
It
as
shoots?
jets.
Yeah, okay, because I was gonna say
As
it's gonna
jets.
generate a force when you shoot it. It weighs a lot less than you do, so it's gonna go a lot further than you do. But yeah,
Yeah,
there is an
The
equal and
idea is-
opposite reaction.
that's true.
So, yeah.
But it's also as a tether.
Yes,
in case,
absolutely. Yep,
That
you bet.
is an issue.
All right. So with that, time passes, and I'm sure nerves start to get sort of up a little bit. You're about to go to space. Oh, by the way, the offer on this one, I don't think I mentioned it. 80,000 beforehand, 80,000 after. This is doubling. So far, it's doubled every time. This is 160,000 credits. This run alone.
That's retiring money.
Given the level of threat that's happened up until now, you can imagine that this one must be pretty big time. So the next, the time passes and you find yourselves at the space shuttle launching area. It takes off like a plane. It looks like kind of like a Concorde. And it takes off. The only difference is instead of going to here, it goes pure vertical and starts to drive you back in your seats. It's just the G's just won't stop. It's just pushing you into the gel seats. And you just the belts around you are getting loose because you're being pushed away from them. And then that starts to fade and fade. And the engines start to get quieter and quieter. They're still burning. You can see them out the window. You just can't hear it because the air is getting thinner outside. The pressure is coming off and coming off and coming off. You're going so fast you can see the Earth rotating underneath you. 90 minutes, same orbit as the as the space shuttle. 90 minutes, you go all the way around the Earth. It's fast. You pass the Terminator, and boom, you watch India go by and up into the darkness. The weight comes off completely. You're in 0G in your seats. Everybody give me a save. Disadvantage unless you've taken the anti-nausea meds, in which case just proficiency, so just 2 days. You don't get sick.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I was like, geez,
give me the roll anyway, because I want to see if you stay oriented. You still have, you're used to operating in gravity.
Jason probably on takeoff just went into his ball, so are we disadvantaged for me then?
Yes, because you're still not used to this. So you got a success.
I got a success.
Jet, feedback succeeded. Moose, a 2. That's not a success.
Two successes.
Oh, 2 successes. Okay, no problem. You just will it out. And a 4. That is not a success. Jet or Jason, it's not you don't get nauseous, but you just your little ball starts to rotate, and I mean you were officially belted in, your physical body was belted in, but you kind of just start to rotate in your chair because you can't quite, you kind of lost down, right? You've lost up and down, so it just right through the belts and everything else because you forgot to concentrate, so you're not solid anymore. You're just slowly rotating counterclockwise in your seat. Precessing.
Perfect.
Just that blank look on his face.
Everybody's looking. Yeah. It goes full 0G and full silent outside. The engines drop off. You can see in the distance this little gray speck that just starts getting bigger and bigger. This is just a brick in space. This is just the terminus. This is where you go on this launch vessel before moving to something more useful for traveling through open space. And as you approach, you realize nobody has made, this isn't pretty. This isn't the commercial switch point. The regular commercial flights go right from Earth to this to beyond, but you guys are going, or no, sorry, they all go through infinity, but this place is just boring. It's just a brick. They've made no effort to make it look nice.
Bus station.
You dock. You walk down a very plain hallway. There's not even a snack place because you got fed on the flight up here if you wanted it. You walk down a hallway out the other side and into another much more functional craft. There is you and a bunch of other people, a bunch of tourists yapping and gawping and taking selfies of themselves and, already gambling with each other on the way. Yep.
Well, Jet's gonna get in the spirit of it. Like inside, he's like, "I would."
You guys are supposed to be playing tourist,
all of you. Yeah. So he's gonna try and pull. But we didn't really settle on whether we were gonna be like a whole group or anything. So he's just gonna pull Jason over and just like start taking selfies with Jason. Smile, knowing full well that Jason's gonna be like.
Non-responsive.
Like Jason looks lost beyond. Like so, Jet's that like, oh my god, like where we are. Jason's like, wait, where are we? Yeah. Like that pair of tourists. I'm like, wait, what? Oh my god.
Exactly. So Jet's gonna ham it up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The other two, Feedback and Moose. You're supposed to be on holidays.
Stare out the window.
Yeah.
Feedback doesn't open his eyes until just before infinity.
Yeah. You open it up just in time to see this big metal wall go, and you pass through it because it's a force field. Yeah, and then you're inside. Yeah.
He's that tourist that obviously has never flown before.
Yep. Yeah. You and the couple, just a couple rows ahead of you on the other side that held hands the whole way up. And their fingers are just light. They just squeeze. Yeah. Oh yeah. The arms of the chair, the other arms where their free hands are just the fingers are dug right into the temper foam. Yeah.
They get there and Feedback has to press a couple of buttons on his hand for the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So he takes the longest to get to the other ship because he's holding on to the rail the whole time.
So you get into this other ship. It's still nice on the inside. It's just very practical, and there's just little puffs to get you moving in the direction. You see beyond approaching this long silver tube. It looks exactly like the pictures, except as you get closer, you see some sort of staining on the outside of it. There's rust here and there. There's places where it could use a coat of paint. You see it rotating as it comes around. Like I said, almost once a minute, the name Beyond just comes up. And then fades away. And it does that weird thing where it comes in and it's all distorted, the letters, until it's facing you, and then it rotates away on the top of the cube, on top of that roll, and gets all distorted again as it leaves.
Oh, it's like those, like, do you know those puzzles? Sorry,
Yeah.
like where when you were little, where you had
You're
to
trying
put
to
the
find
paper this way
exactly.
to
There's
read
only
them?
one spot where it's exactly right. Yeah.
Or like the word puzzles where you had to tilt the paper to read it.
Yep.
And then like
Exactly.
even it this way, it was like a barcode. Yeah.
Yep.
Got it. Right there.
Yeah. So with that, the ship makes its way to the South Pole, which is what apparently random end of this thing. I mean, there's no north and south, but that's just what they call it.
One's red, one's blue.
Like a
One's got a
magnet.
positive sign and one's got a negative sign. Yeah.
Perfect. Canada.
Out the windows or whatever.
Canada.
Can we see the spires?
Yes.
Are they close?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
approaching one of them. You're actually coming at the end of the south one because that's where it's 0G. It's still spinning, but the ship, you notice, you don't feel this inside because you're strapped in, but your ship starts to spin. Not enough to generate a G, but to match the other ship. So when you're approaching, it looks like that ship is spinning, and then it appears to slow down because you have no, unless you look out to the stars, you have no external reference, right? And then you and it are rotating at the same speed until that final docking motion. The door opens and a person comes onto the ship. They've got a name tag. It says Goldie Locke is her name. And they just say, hey, everybody, as you know, before you come on the station, you got to have one of these. And they're holding up this handful of the bio bracelets like they're, party favors. And that's how she goes about just walking around. And you know those bracelets they used to have, those things that you just slapped and it just around? Yeah. Just does
The
that
slap
and then
bracelet.
locks. You can feel it.
Can
Like
Jason try to, when that happens, like, can he hold his wrist up to try to, like, grab another one when that happens? Just, like, very suddenly. I mean, is she handing them or is she stopping them? Like,
she's just walking around thwacking them onto your wrist. So the other ones are in the other hand. You can try. Go ahead and give me you got talented fingers or whatever the skill's called.
oh my God, what is it? Hold on, I'll tell you what it is. Jason's abilities are no, he doesn't.
Okay, so that would be at
He has a
disadvantage.
built-in hard drive engineer. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind, he doesn't need it.
Not
He
that
also
good
has an eidetic memory.
Right.
You're
So-
not going to try and fern it.
Yeah.
Never mind. He
Yeah.
doesn't need it. He has eidetic memory.
Jet,
So,
what were you doing? Yeah.
never mind.
Jet will just they'll take the
Yeah.
bracelet
And
and he
feedback
really
moves?
wants to start fucking with it right away,
Yeah.
but he's gonna
Gonna wait till you get to your room at least. Yeah.
don't
Feedback
know. I don't
and Moose, or at least, yeah, till Goldie's not looking. Yeah.
Feedback doesn't appear to make any sort of real moves this
Just-
time around.
You just take one. Yeah. Moose,
Like that.
you let him put one on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just
Yeah.
no resistance.
It just feels like a rubber band wrapped around your wrist. Not tight, but you can feel it. Like it doesn't flap around. It's not a bracelet. It's stuck tight. Then once everybody's got one on, she says, okay, so welcome to Beyond. I'm Goldie, and it's my job to see that you get settled in. It says here that you four, and it points at the four of you, are staying at the Paris Hilton. Fancy. The rest of you can find your own fucking way to your place. You four come with me. And she turns around and walks off the ship. Like, sorry, you're still at 0G, and does this and finger walks down this corridor off the ship. The rest of them are like, woo, woo, woo. Huh? And then they turn around and trying to get one more free drink before the ship clears, right?
yeah, sucks to suck. Let's go.
Come on, guys.
The four of you foomp out the front. Goldie takes you down. You get out of the spindle to the end of it, and it's different seeing it live, man. When that door opens up and you are at this end, at the apex of this tube, the wall goes like this away from you and curves. It's this sort of dome shape, and down that goes an elevator from where you are down to the floor below you. But from where you are, directly in front of you is what passes for a sun in this place. It's a single bar. You looked on the internet. It's 2 millimeters, a single line that goes the full length of the station, the full 5 kilometers. It itself glows like a sun, and it projects around it a sky, so that when you look up from any of the ground areas, you don't see the street above you, because it was determined that that was disconcerting. So whenever you look up through in here, you only see a sky. The day-night system is automatic. The the nights are rumored to be rather shorter than is good for your health, but you don't gamble when you're sleeping, so.
Yeah.
And they control all the local clocks, so you never know.
As long as they don't keep it freezing and mysteriously just keep the citrusy scents in the air to keep everybody awake.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are taken down this elevator and along this weird structure. As you go down that, gravity comes back for the first time since the ship left Earth orbit. You start to feel gravity, but it comes back literally a gram at a time as you go down this wall. It's a kilometer-long elevator, 6/10 of a mile, all the way down this slightly curving surface. So you're getting heavier and heavier as you go. You're also being pushed ever so slightly forward by this container that you're in. It gets to the bottom and comes to a stop, boof, and you kind of almost take a step forward. You almost have to. And you're at 1G. The door opens.
Feedback looks very relieved.
Goldie looks at you, feedback, and says, I might be able to help with that. And they undo a couple of closures on their suit jacket that they're wearing, their business suit, because it has their name tag on it. And they open up one flap, and inside there's a bunch of derms. Just little discs about this big that are sticky on one side, and you stick them to a vein anywhere on your body, and the drugs go directly in. She goes, these ones will keep you calm, and these ones will fuck you up. And she just closes both of them again. Just let me know. You're staying at the Hilton. You get the full treatment.
Can I get a couple of those ones that'll just fuck you up?
And she hands you, she goes, you look like a yellow and a green. And she just pulls two of them off, like these rainbow stick. You know that candy you used to get that was just like a string of fizzy candies?
Yeah.
It's like those, they're all random colors. And she rips off a green one off one end and a yellow one off the other end and hands them to you. There you
Can
go.
I get a couple for later too?
Yeah,
Sure
I'll be, I'm a button push away the whole time, but yeah, here, have 2 purple ones.
I'll just stick those in my pocket.
Okay.
An upper for now, a downer for later.
Are you taking either one of them now?
Nope.
Or using either one of them? Okay, so you got a yellow, a green, and 2 purples. Make note of that. I will forget. Not that, yeah, just remember, I'll have to make up what they do on the spot, but
Moose is getting very close to tasting the rainbow.
Yeah.
Possibly riding the rainbow and hearing the rainbow.
I was going to say, one of these is a synesthesia pill. He's about to taste the rainbow, literally.
Surprisingly, Jason also asks for a few.
Yep.
Jason doesn't take them. He just
like,
keeps them.
They're not going to work on you, but oh, you sneaky shit. And she hands you a couple. Yeah. Here, have some black ones. They put people to sleep. They're what you use to come down from those yellow ones.
Yeah, Jason's going to ask her a few. No reason.
Yeah, yeah they give you three black ones, which are sleeping. They're essentially sleeping derms. If you can put them on somebody with a bloodstream, you will probably put them to sleep, or at least make them slow down considerably.
Perfect. Because she sees.
Do you guys do drugs? Well, not on ourselves. That would be crazy.
Yeah. These are kind of shuffling through the different ones.
You know what this shit does?
He's like, I want some of those just for, research.
Research purposes.
Yeah. Research purposes.
She pulls open the other side and peels off this sort of pale pinkish one and hands it to you, feedback, and she says, this one will just sort of keep you from freaking out.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's right into the bloodstream. It's quick. It's just like, this is okay. It doesn't make the stress go away, but it kind of makes it like
fine.
It's somebody else's stress.
It's literally that meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing it's the same thing that really good painkillers do. They don't actually kill the pain. They just disconnect you from it. And you're kind of sitting there going, man, somebody's knee really hurts.
When I was in the hospital, they gave me morphine for my gallbladder, and I knew there was pain, but I didn't care. That was somebody else's problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had surgery.
Something's wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Wow, somebody's stomach is awful right now. I'm sure glad I'm not them. Oh wait. Anyway, Yay, morphine. Don't do drugs, kids, unless the doctor gives them to you, in which case it's perfectly okay.
Just casual disclaimer here.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Content
prescriptions.
warning.
They forced me. They came in and asked me if I wanted more. They didn't ask me if I needed more. They asked me if I wanted more, so I answered truthfully, yes.
Those are two different scenarios.
That's two different questions.
If they give you a button, you can only push it so many times before it stops working.
Yeah, exactly. They said it. It's got a cooldown. It's a real world item with a cooldown timer built in.
Mm-hmm.
You can only die morphine yourself so many times in an hour. Unless you could hack the system, but you'd be too high to do it because you push the button 100 times in an hour. Anyway, let's get back to this game and pretend we're, we don't promote the use of drugs. We've just experienced it. So Goldie's got you guys all the drugs you need. And she gets you walk halfway down exactly to the center of this place. The street you've been walking down is called Desiderata, and the cross street is the Rue Jules Verne. And at this cross street, there's only 4 buildings. And they're weird because when you look up, because it's in a tube, these buildings are tall. Most of the buildings here are not tall, but these ones are. So they visibly tilt towards each other because they go like that towards the center of the tube, right? So it's a kilometer up here, and these things are only like, 10, 12 stories tall. But when you look up, they noticeably close above you. They are huge. They are a bank called Credit Luna. There's a security building called Sixth Generation Security. There's a spectacular graphene tower used for low-G gliding and wingsuiting. It goes almost up to the center. You can look up and kind of do the math in your head. When you jump from the top of that, you're at sort of 100th of a G. And then the lower down you go, the more and more and more G's you're going to pull, all the way down to 1 at the ground. So you could wingsuit for hours before you made it down.
I was like, out of character. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, doesn't it?
The moose is going to go do that.
Yeah. There's a 0G velodrome at one end, almost all the way up to the where you guys got off at the South Pole. There's a bike loop that goes all the way around at like 1/10 of a G. They're going 150, 160, 170 kilometers an hour. That's 100 miles an hour plus. Just going around and around and around. And the 4th building is the Paris Hilton Orbital Hotel. It's as gaudy as you can imagine. It's Roman towers, and on top of that Art Deco, and on top of that another style, and it looks like a cake that 10 people were contracted to make, and none of them talked to each other before they made each layer.
So it looks like the Vegas Strip got accordioned and
yes,
stacked,
like somebody took one floor of each of the buildings of the Strip and put them all in one building, stuck together.
Really fancy crystal chandelier in the middle of the lobby.
Yes. And speaking of in the middle, in the center of this square, where these 2 streets come together, is the only green space you've seen. It's got a sign. It's called the Greenway. It's a garden, water feature, park, place of relaxation and profit, as you see that there are the inevitable vendors spread all about the place with their little carts.
Oh, street meat. I wander off.
Yep. Yes. The street meat here is rated from probable to not likely to you don't want to know.
Mystery meat.
Yes.
I am so hitting up that you don't want to know.
Oh, yeah. It's just little nodules, like just knots of meat.
Meat on a stick.
Yes, and the stick looks like it doesn't want to be there. But yeah. After the finest dinner in the world last night, you're now, eating gristle bombs.
Yeah, feedback's sitting right there next with him because that reminds him of home, right?
Yes.
And he goes to Moose and he's like, I wonder what this one tastes like. Bites it. That's cat.
I imagine this is mostly being whatever circus animal meat that nobody else could use.
Yeah,
not even the hot dog.
Pets
people.
that people brought with them and lost gambling. Anything could happen.
So yeah, feedback. Basically he gets a bunch of the mystery
the
meats and
street
tries to
meats,
guess what they are.
Yeah.
This rat. This rat
Yeah.
tastes like rat.
No, wait a minute. No, that's mouse. Oh yeah, it's subtler, less ass.
Slightly less gamey.
Oh, so you guys are standing in a square that in a pleasure palace. Like this whole place is just designed to take money off of tourists, and even that isn't its real function, but it's doing that really, really well. And you guys are in that paying, sort of 200 credits for 4 pieces of unidentified flesh on a stick.
Loving every minute of it.
Brutal.
Even
So
though
used to live in Manhattan.
What are the other two doing?
Even though all of this is covered, there's still like the inner parsimonious, like, live paycheck to paycheck jet is just the anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, less than a week ago, you were fucking broke, right? I mean, yeah. But yeah, this is all on the company card, so you just start mowing. Are you guys getting any street food? There's better stuff than that here. There's like not even street meat.
No, Jet's going straight to his room and going to check for his equipment and do inventory. So there's time to fuck around, but first you got to make sure that everything's in order.
Absolutely. So
yeah, I always think that there's always time for making sure everything's
you guys
in order.
Walking through the front door of probably the most expensive hotel that an Earth person can get to, gnawing on rat ass. No, it's definitely rat ass. I've eaten rat ass before. I'm telling you, this is rat ass. Yes, you walking in.
So like half of us get that cool intro with the slow down and the baller music, and behind them is just like some banjo music.
But the place is so professional. The place is so professional that none of the staff look. And you look around and I mean, they're making kind of a spectacle of themselves, but they are not the only ones. There are some people that were on the flight with you here that are trying to get in, and they're being stopped. Like, if those people can get in, I can get in. And like, fuck off, Karen, go home. You're not booked here. You're way out by the spindles.
You're
go
at the
back.
travel lodge. Come on.
Yeah, you're at the You're in a shared room. You only get to sleep in it 8 hours a day. The other 16 you got to get out. There's 2 other people using it.
Hot bedding.
But even some of the people in here, some of the tourists, they're posh, but they're still shit-faced. This is open bar, free food, like all inclusive space journey once in a lifetime thing. So you see very posh people stumbling about in very expensive clothes, looking shit-faced, and it's like 10 a.m.
I was gonna say it may be a Hawaiian shirt and Bermuda shorts, but they're silk and hand woven. They squeezed, they massaged the caterpillars so that the silk was extra soft when it came out. Exactly. They played Enya for it.
Of note,
bespoke Jason, straw hats.
Of note, just like lifestyle wise. Jason doesn't have much to spend his money on, so even before this mission, like Jason did have like a small stockpile of money, but like he doesn't feel the need to spend it, and he doesn't. So like it's kind of one of those like, honestly, if old money was made hologram type of thing, right? Like Jason has access to maybe not this level of money, but like a decent level of money.
Oh yeah. So like you weren't poor before. Not all of you were.
Right. He's familiar with this, but he just like doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's not about his like engineering or anything like that. He's like, why do I need this? And he just lets it sit there.
Yeah.
So
like he recognizes the architect, and that's it.
Yeah. You guys step into the lobby, and this the floor around you. You look around, and the floor doesn't appear to move, but you move on the floor towards the main desk. As you pass along, there's restaurants, bars, a place to like a salon. There's still there's potted plants in here, but they're all fake, and obviously like fake. They don't look like real plants. They're very designed not to compete with what's going on outside. And you walk up to what slides you up to the counter, and Goldie just looks over and nods, and there's a flicker in one of her eyes. There's a flicker in an eye of the person behind the counter. They, yes, of course. And 4 pass keys are laid on the counter. The penthouse suites. Of course. Do enjoy yourselves. And I will mention as well, there is of course gambling, and they off to the side, kind of, you have to go around the corner. It wasn't really obvious, but they do have a casino in the building.
Not at all shocked.
Yeah.
Zero surprise here.
Hotels make their money on peripherals.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Speaking
Fun
from
announcement for
experience.
anybody watching.
yeah.
That's actually a true statement.
Yep.
I work in a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
So
a night
the-
auditor for a hotel for a long time.
My family lives in Vegas. So,
I've stayed in a hotel, so see, we're all experts.
listen to your elders.
Yes.
I've been to a hotel before. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, Jet's gonna
Yes,
take his
so to
keys,
your
just
rooms,
going
yeah.
right up his room.
I just saw the time. So after you guys are done having drinks and whatever you're gonna have, I walked past the hotel once. Yeah. Remember motels?
Yep.
They were a motor hotel. If you drove up to your room, that was a motel. If you parked in the lobby and had to ride an escalator up or an elevator up, that was a hotel. Yeah. But the four of you take the private elevator that only goes to the penthouse floors. I mean, this is a hotel. They've got, you've got the 4 penthouse suites. There's 4 more just below that and 4 more just below that. There's 12 penthouse suites, but never mind. The private elevator only serves those. It's big enough for you and an entourage, clearly, but it is just the 4 of you. Goldie stayed at the lobby. She gave you her number so you can beep her at any time, and she will bring you anything you desire. You get up to your rooms and each walk in, and there's all the styrofoam wrapped gear that you saw before it left. As you start to go through it, and it's all there. Everything is there. Everything works. You're testing and prodding and looking and making sure nobody was in your gear and all of that.
Check to make sure it all works.
Yep. Yep. Everything's properly prepared, and of course, yeah, cleaned and lubricated and counted and everything, all that good stuff.
3 times.
Yeah, you look out the window, and you're taller than the bank and the security building. Just across from you, you can see these high-speed elevators with these people on it zipping up towards the top of this thing that they're jumping off of. They've got their parachutes and their little wingsuits and stuff, and they're just chattering. And as they go blowing by, you can see they're all tanned, but it's a weird sort of square patterns almost. And you realize it's the latest thing. It's stenciled tanning. It gives an effect not unlike I hope I pronounce this right, kirigami suit. It makes you look pixelated. It makes you look sort of digital rather than being sort of human.
You just brought me back to the tanning.
Yeah, fake tan.
We would stick stickers on us to like make
And
a
then-
pattern on our.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yep.
Anyways.
Right till somebody passes out, and you put 2 tennis balls and a tennis container on them and let them sleep in the sun for 3 or 4 hours. That's fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Write dirty words in a sunscreen.
In sunscreen. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
all the good stuff. But as the 4 of you look out at that, and the money, I mean, you can just smell it. From this height, you can see there's just blocks and blocks and blocks of slowly, and I mean slowly, dropping quality of restaurant and hotel and bar and everything. There's nothing here that's cheap. There's no, I've got 50 cents, let's go gambling places here. Beyond is not for those people. But this is the bazillion dollar, the bazillionaires is where you're staying, and then as it goes further out, it goes down to millionaires and, that region. You can just hear the siphons, just like a fine screen shaking everybody here, and making sure that when they leave and go back down the gravity well, they damn well leave all their credits here.
I am so gonna find a way to rob these motherfuckers.
So you start, you're just sitting there plotting. Jason, this should be interesting. When you see all of that out there, what do you make of that?
So I mean, Jason's up in the penthouse, and I actually had the question of how up are we already planned in my brain. So you already answered that for me.
250 meters ish.
Okay.
750 feet.
I was gonna
feet.
say I'm a dirty American.
Yeah, about 800 feet. Yeah.
Thanks. So Jason is up. Quick question. do we have separate rooms, or
Yes.
we're in the penthouse that we have our, so
you go up in
is
the
there one
elevator, the
main
door
room?
opens, and there's 4 doors.
Okay,
And each
perfect,
of those,
yeah,
each of
so-
these rooms, I'll describe them more next week, but each one of these rooms
Yeah.
is a suite.
Okay,
Like,
but
when
like
you first
the
walk in, there's
entire
a common
floor
area.
is ours. is
Yes,
what you're
yeah.
talking
Each room, I'll
Okay.
do real quick. When you walk in, there's a common area that is clearly designed for the entourage, and there's a sort of series of bedrooms along the side, and then at the end,
Okay.
there's 3 steps up to show who's better, and then there's like the really posh shit at the back for whoever the famous person is here.
Okay. Well,
to
I'm
live in.
assuming there's windows that kind of look
yes,
out
yeah.
at the top of the. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jason doesn't even bother with the bedroom. He
Yeah.
he knows it's all going to be there.
Yeah.
And he looks to the window, and he also has what is that skill? What is the skill? Hold on. So I mean, he has an eidetic memory,
Yep.
right?
So you've got it real
So
mapped.
he's
Yeah.
literally
Mapping
like
the place.
pretty much
Yep.
scanning
Yep.
the
Absolutely.
entire
Yeah.
thing
Just
and
seeing
just
you like operating like a 3D scanner.
locking it
just
to memory.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and then
Just processing. Yeah.
what can he see the North Pole from where they are?
Kind of. Because
Ish.
it's
I mean,
like
far in the
looking.
distance.
It's
Yeah.
it's not even a distance. It's only about 2.5 kilometers, but 1.5 miles away. The problem is that's where that light bar goes. So it's like looking at the
Right.
sun. Right. You can see where it is, but you can't sort of. It's like trying to look right at a light bulb.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see
so,
where
I
it
mean,
is, but
he's-
you can't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's pretty much just scanning everything that he can, and then when he's done, he does sequester himself in his room, and you hear little like like little like mechanical noises from his room. But that's
And you're
that's
going to
pretty
start
much it.
messing with the. I'm assuming you're going to start messing with the bio bracelet. Trying to
Yeah,
figure
he's
out
not
how to
gonna mess
reverse
with it
engineer
too much,
Yep.
but he's
We'll
gonna
get to
try
that,
reverse engineer.
We'll get
Yeah,
to
but that's
what you
next week.
gain
That's
from
next
that
week.
next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Muse. Weapons are clean.
I'm just hitting the rack, man.
Yep.
Rest up.
You hurl yourself on the bed, and because you're the first one that's mentioned it, it kind of goes. It's magnetically suspended above the floor. It is in no way, shape, or form directly connected to anything. It just hovers.
Oh, that's gonna be weird.
There's
Depending how
no.
he-
The only sensation of movement is you. It's kind of hammocky. So when you roll, the whole thing kind of goes. It always
Yeah.
comes back to balance center, but it always feels like it's balanced on a pinhead, right? It always feels like, yeah.
Reiterate, rich people stupid.
Yep.
Stupid.
It's good for your car. It's good for your key. Yeah, I can't sleep. That's not good for anything. Feedback. You're the last one.
Once feedback gets to his room, he starts, setting up his little workstation. He fills the bathtub full of ice and has it filled with ice because he's going to need that later.
Mhm.
And once it's set up, he starts to probe, like using his PC, just
Right.
trying to get a kind of a layout of the net architecture of the station
Just
and
start-
where he can.
Start playing. For now, we're going to leave you in the sort of public sphere where you're doing that thing where you're cruising their website looking for ways in.
Yeah.
Like one of the stores I used to work at had public computers, but if you clicked a certain icon on the page, it would take you to the staff page. Like it was that easy to get into the staff thing. So yeah, I mean, so you're sort of at that point. You stand zero chance of setting off any alarms doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Just sort of checking.
Pretty much window shopping.
Absolutely, just sort of looking to see what you're up against. So while the 4 of you prepare, it's only noonish. And I say noonish, arguably you haven't seen a clock since you got here, and any clocks that you have don't work. You check your phones and everything else. It's just -- colon -- Apparently that's a feature. There's no time. You can stay until you're broke.
Reminds me of that Hotel California.
Yes,
Type
yeah.
of-
You can
type
you
of
can yeah,
vibes.
you can check out anytime, but you can never leave.
Does that affect analog watches?
No,
the
you
actual
somebody
mechanical
yeah,
watches?
no, I can't do that. That's because that's not I can't hack that. So no, your analog watch works. So if
Okay.
you pay attention, you're going to be able to answer the age-old question of are they fucking with the 24-hour day to generate more business? In case
So
we're-
I already knew the answer. With
Yeah,
that.
the
I
answer
didn't
is
need
yes,
this.
but you can
The
confirm
answer is
that
yes.
over the course of the next couple of weeks. We'll confirm that.
Don't need Swiss engineering to
No.
know that they're
So, while the four of you prepare, far away, in fact, back on Earth, an island, an artificial island that literally floats just above the ocean, invisible to radar, invisible to the cameras, invisible to satellites, and very assiduously avoided by everyone else. And on this island, a very rich Alighieri woman, not the one you met, a different one, turns to one of her servants and says, "They're doing quite well, don't you think?" And the servant says, "Yes, ma'am. It is going to plan." And she reaches up and runs her finger down a scar on her face. And as she does so, the camera pans up to her face for the first time, and it is white. Absolutely bone white. It doesn't look painted. It looks like that's the color of her skin. Her horns are the palest blue, and they're translucent. You can almost see through them. They look like translucent dice, but in a pale blue. The face is absolutely white. Around each eye, a diamond, half red, half black, alternating on each side, each one ending in a dot and a dot. That overwrought, smiling face that looks scary rather than charming. Harlequin looks at her assistant and runs her finger down that scar. "Soon, I shall have my revenge." She turns and walks out of the room. And the assistant looks at her, shakes his head, and makes sure the door is closed. It's 400 years. You'd think you could let it go. And he turns and goes the other way. And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight. Thank you. I am so glad that I decided not to try and squeeze this. The original plan was there's 7 missions, and I was going to try and do it as essentially like 7 linked one-shots. And no, this is so much better. We took a whole session just getting you guys here. So yeah, we're doing it this way. This is going to take a long time. I hope nobody had anything planned till about Christmas the way this is going. But
I am
My time
okay
is
with
yours.
yes, but with that, yes, I'm loving every second of this. The run starts next week. Oh, thank yous are in order all around, many all arounds. Thank you so much to Bison, Bat Kyle, Roospar, and Mana Queen. You guys, I couldn't ask for better players. You guys are creative, and you're character focused, and you role play, and you're all different, and I love it. It's wonderful. Thank you to chat. The ones we know, the ones we don't know, the new ones, the ones that have been around for a while. Thank you for hanging out with us. I was serious. Go to the Discord. Posted earlier. I'll post it again now. You want to be part of this? Sign up, and you can do this too. Discord. Bam. There we go. Click there. Incredibly supportive place. And I always tell it. I just realized. I always say, come if you want to play. If you don't want to play, come anyway. If you want to lurk, come anyway. If you just want to be in a supportive place where everybody's there to help you, please come to the Discord. That's what it's really about. It's a community. We play games, but we're deeper than that. We're a community, and we support each other through, let's face it, pretty freaky and disturbing times. So we're going to be here for each other, and we can be here for you too. The more the merrier. The more people you share joy with, the bigger that joy gets. I'm firmly convinced of that. So come and share joy with us over at the Discord. It's the best way to get involved in this. Thank you to all the people on YouTube in the future. If you watched all the way to here, please hit the like button because I'm going to assume you did. And please hit the bell because I'm terrible and I don't have a schedule when stuff goes up. So the only way to know that I have posted is to hit that notification bell so you can get caught up. You're only a couple episodes behind on this, so you can get caught up in this in one good viewing. We only do 2-hour episodes, so they're nice and quick to get through. That's all the thank yous. That's all the people. We got another game tomorrow night, and you should tune in for that because that's a finale. Those are tough. It's the big final battle, but it's also the end of a campaign that's gone for almost, I think it's actually gone for a year, but we've done, I think it'll be 45 episodes. We missed some weeks along the way.
Wow.
But it's going to be about 45 or 46 episodes, so it's been there for a while. It's coming to a head tomorrow, and then the week after tomorrow, we're going to do the What Happened Then session, where the members who survive, probably all of them, let's face it, but the members who survive are going to spend the time telling us what those characters did for the rest of their lives after they reset the ordning and fixed the world. I think a lot of groups don't do that, and it is such a wonderful way to help with closure, to put an end to that character and put that character to bed and get ready to play the next one. So we're going to do that a week from tomorrow, but first tomorrow they have to fight a big blue dragon. So tune in to see that. That's going to be violent and fun.
It'll be fine.
You'll all be
It'll
fine.
be fun,
Your level,
fine.
there's like 5 of you. You're level 10. You'll be fine. You got some
Five
giants.
of us, one of us is fucked off.
Yeah. Well, that's okay because you've also got
He always
giant
does.
potions of giant size. So yes, but somebody's going to try and solve the problem by being nice to a blue dragon. We'll see how that works.
Yes.
Oh,
Tell me
so,
it's the bard. Tell me
thank
it's
you.
the bard.
No, it's the rogue.
Oedipus.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's Oedipus, yeah.
shocker.
Oh no, Fred.
It's-
Everybody's
it's
Fred.
always Oedipus.
Everybody's Fred. Yeah, everybody can be my Fred. Well, the ultimate compliment has been paid to this game. That's a cold cup of coffee. That doesn't happen very friggin' often around me.
Yeah.
Take that as a compliment. Okay, we're gonna be done. See, I don't want to stop. I'm having so much fun tonight, but we're gonna. Good night, everybody, and until next time, please keep being nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.